I'm Denise Carter, and I'm the director of the Welcome Center. I will be the host today. The town hall will be approximately 2 hours, and we will record it and stream it on our YouTube channel that we have for the college. We will have a presentation and a question and answer session. Please type in your questions in the YouTube chat box, and we will get to them as we go through the program. We will have that available. We will have resource information that's available on the pasadena.edu website. It is my pleasure to now introduce our Assistant Superintendent, Vice President of Student Services, Dr. Cynthia Olivo.
Hi, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us today for our first Student Services Town Hall during this pandemic. I appreciate you taking the time from your schedules to join us. And it's an honor for me to introduce our Superintendent President, who provided a really great theme for us and set a tone for us to accept the unknown and roll with it as we all learn more information about this pandemic. And so I'd like to introduce our Superintendent President, Erica Androjonis.
Hey there, everyone. It's fabulous to be here and to have an opportunity to both hear from all of the fabulous staff that I don't get to see anymore. And also I get to see you on the screen. And also just an opportunity to hear from our students, what's happening, if they have questions. You know, a lot of times when you're in our position, we think we know the questions you might be asking, so we offer answers, and then turns out you all have great questions we didn't even think about. So we're really excited to be here to both share information and then to hear from you. And so in addition to saying how much I appreciate the faculty, the staff, and the managers here at Pasadena City College, I also want to say how much I appreciate all of you, because just as we've had to be Semper Gumby, always flexible to move everything around, so have you. You've had to make all kinds of changes in very uncertain times, and hopefully whatever kind of help you need, we've been able to provide it. And if there's some kind of help we haven't been able to provide, just let us know and we'll do our best. So thank you so much for joining us, and I'm just really looking forward to listening in and hearing what's going on. So thanks.
Thank you, Dr. Androjonis. And I would also like to thank our Associated Student Elected Official who's with us today. He's the Vice President of Student Services for Associated Students, Ryan Tan, and he'll speak after my presentation. Ryan, can you greet the crowd, please?
Yes, hello everyone. My name is Ryan Tan. I'm the Vice President for Student Services, and we're here for Associated Students. We're here for you as students, and we understand and feel your anxiety for online services. But if you have any further questions, feel free to contact us.
Thank you, Ryan. And now I'm going to share my screen so that I can, let's see. I wanted to mention some information about excuse withdrawals. For PCC, we have provided an easy way for students to request an excuse withdrawal. And at this point in time, if you as a student request a withdrawal, we will behind the scenes convert it to an excuse withdrawal. The same goes for Pass No Pass. My team has also created a guide for Pass No Pass that is available on our PCC website. Just in case you're wondering, should I be taking a Pass No Pass or not, and how will it impact my transfer status and ability to transfer? We have a guide on our website. And I wanted to let you know that at this point in time, the deadlines for requesting those are flexible until we have a formal meeting and dialogue with the Academic Senate and agree upon a deadline. At this point, it's just available for all of you as students. Another helpful bit of information, some of the students we know are requesting refunds for parking passes and for your Metro U Pass. And we've also created a really easy way for students to access the forms to request those. And those are also available on our website. There's one for the parking permit and there's one for the U-Pass. Now, there are currently around 2,000 students who have purchased the U-Pass, and you'll still be able to use it through the end of the term. One of the reasons why we didn't disable them right now and start refunds now is because we wanted students who still rely on public transportation to get to their various essential jobs in grocery stores, restaurants, etc., for drive-through pickup food. We wanted you to still be able to utilize your U-Pass. At the end of the term, what we'll do is calculate how much we owe to Metro, and then we'll be able to process refunds at that point. And so we have a team that's assembled that's ready to take care of that for you. I also wanted to let you know that we have academic counselors available for you to meet with. And they're available through several ways. One of the ways is through a virtual platform we have called Cranium Cafe. Essentially, it's like FaceTime with a counselor. Right on your phone, your Chromebook, your laptop. The other is that you could also just request a phone call. Some students would prefer just to talk to an academic counselor about your specific questions. And I wanted you to know that you can do that as well. How do you decide that? It's at the point of when you're scheduling your academic counseling appointment. And let's see here. I wanted to walk you through some of what I've shared through this online guide that we will post on our website. And it's how to navigate remote student services. Again, excuse withdrawal is available on our website and it'll be processed between 2 and 4 business days. And then we have our pass no pass process. And we were so fortunate that our chancellor's office gave us the flexibility with the ability to help students get excuse withdrawal and pass no pass. And there's the link where it says additional points to consider for students in the process of transferring. There's the information about refunds for the U-Pass and the form for the parking permit refund. And Denise, can you remind us, what is the deadline for students to submit the parking permit refund form? I see here
It's May 15th.
Great, thank you so much. Okay, so as I was stating, we have created a remote website for all of student services, and it's on the homepage. The link to all of student services remote is on our homepage. And then here is the front page of the PCC counseling website, where you could link to get your remote online counseling appointment. And we also wanted to emphasize that we have social work services support that's also available virtually. So if you're a student who is experiencing a personal, educational, psychological, or financial crisis, currently experiencing homelessness, or would like information about resources for housing, or experiencing domestic violence, or you feel unsafe in your environment, may be eligible and interested in resources or community assistance and not know where to begin. You might be eligible for public assistance programs. We have staff that can help you. And here's the information on how to obtain services for social services support. Additionally, during this time, we know how important it is to help you navigate through all of the information that's available through the various cities where our students live. And what we've tried to do is provide our staff with all of that info so that we can push that out to you. For example, this information, we sent it out to all students who live in the city of LA who are enrolled at PCC, so that you could understand that at this period of time, you cannot be evicted. And We sent you the information just to help you in case you're experiencing an inability to pay your rent. Additionally, we also found information for students who live in the city of Alhambra who are eligible for $500 a month from the city. And we identified all students who live in the zip codes of Alhambra so that we could directly send you that information. We also, right from the get-go, we understood that our students were going to need access to resources, financial resources, especially because jobs were so disrupted and our students are experiencing a high level of unemployment. And so we bumped up the spring financial aid disbursement by a month, the second disbursement for the term, so that students could have their financial aid in pocket as quickly as possible. That's one of the first actions that we took. And I wanted to thank my team for working so hard on all of these services that are available to students. You'll see here for our students who are in our program called Calworks, who are parents and also navigating low income status, we created Calworks Times, and it helps students understand how you work with your gain worker and submit your forms virtually so that you do not have interruption in any of your monthly support that you receive. Our team in the transfer center with the FAFSA squad also created a series of events to help students decode their financial aid offer from their respective transfer institutions. We know how difficult it is sometimes to make decisions and understand what your financial aid award is actually offering you. And so I encourage you to please participate in this event. We also provided Lancer Pantry services. For the first couple of weeks, we were able to do in-person drive-through of grocery bags with essential items that our students ask for. And then we switched to remote services for Lancer Pantry, in part because we gave our personal protective equipment, our masks and gloves, to the local hospital, Huntington Hospital, which was requesting these items because they were preparing for, a great deal of patients to come through with COVID. And so what we did is we were able to partner with the PCC Foundation to offer Lancer Pantry electronic grocery store gift cards. We also found this was helpful because students were asking us for items that we didn't have, such as toilet paper, paper towels, cleaning supplies, and baby formula. The kinds of items that all of us were seeking during the period of time where we were safer at home. And so this gave students the ability to get the resources they need and make the purchases that were a priority for themselves and their family members. Overall, we've helped over 1,000 students with these various services from Lancer Pantry. Now, what we've been able to do last week is we received federal CARES funding, and we awarded around, a large portion of our $7.6 million allocation from the federal level to over 5,500 students. The average award ranged from $1,000 to $750 to $500 per student. And we identified students who have the greatest financial need based upon a few variables that we could find in our system, such as estimated family contribution, as well as unmet need for students in their financial aid package for the year. And so this went out last week. We have around 900 students who have not yet accepted the award. So we're reaching out to the students through telephone calls. So far, our ability to reach students has been through email and text message, and that went really well with over 4,500 students responding. Now we're working through over 2,000 requests we have received from students who are requesting emergency financial assistance. This application you will find in your Lancer Point on the first page under announcements. And as we continue to sort through all of the requests, we'll determine how much we're awarding, and then when the deadline will be set for this. It'll all be dependent upon how quickly we are able to sort through and award the funds, so that we essentially can award the several $100,000s that we have available for this pot of funding and assistance for students. I also wanted to make you aware that we have scholarships available, and you just go into Academic Works and you can apply for various scholarships. One of my departments and team members, Nikki Dixon, put this flyer together for EOP&S students. It's designed specifically for single parents in the EOP&S program. And EOP&S is celebrating 50 years, 50-year anniversary in the state, and they have a Living the Legacy video contest. And so you can submit a video highlighting how you are living the legacy of the extended opportunity programs and services. And I hope that you win, because we have really great opportunities for students. The video must be 45 seconds or less, and then we look forward to seeing what you will capture in your video. I also wanted to let you know that our counseling faculty, they worked on a really amazing project to help us connect with students through faculty members. And we created a service called PCC Connect. And this is where teachers can let us know when a student would like or needs some support, either from tutoring or academic counseling. And this year, we also are able to have students let us know when you want support. So all you have to do is go into Lancer Point and raise your hand, and then we will make sure that a counselor follows up with you. And so the rest of this flipbook simply has flyers for all the various services that we've put together. And if you have any needs, for example, for transfer services and support, all of it's available virtually. What I wanted you to know is if you've been accepted and are planning on transferring, we do have a celebration for transfer online, and it's #OnwardLancers. We did postpone commencement, and I wanted to make sure that we mention this because, you know, we honestly understand that the experience of commencement and celebrating your achievement, it is very special for you and your family members. And our president said it best: your family wants to see you walk across that stage. You want that experience of walking across that stage, and we want you to have that. So we have postponed commencement till next year. And, you know, we celebrate you and your success, and we want you to know what it's like to actually have your cap and gown, your family members in the audience in Jackie Robinson Stadium. And so we look forward to hosting you and hosting that next year. In the meantime, I'm going to ask Dean Cobb if she can please describe some of our other graduations that we're planning, so that we can continue to celebrate you and your success this year. Dean Cobb?
Hi, sorry about that. I was trying to answer some questions. Well, we are planning on working with the foundation and our strategic communications to actually find ways to celebrate all of our graduates this year in some fashion. We're calling it right now a completion celebration. We also have cultural programs and cultural celebrations happening. I know we're continuing to work with Ale in the Latinx graduation, Black grad. So some of what this looks like is students sending in messages, pictures of themselves wherever they are. I know our international students is doing, I think, a Facebook or Instagram page where students can send in pictures and messages of where they are, just celebrating that they've completed whatever their goals are. Black grad will be doing the same thing. A number of programs will be mailing students either t-shirts or keepsakes, just to recognize and celebrate with each of you on your completion and, the end of a very trying year. So we want you to know that we are continuing to think about you, and we want to celebrate with you, even if it's not in person and not in a full-blown ceremony. We'll save that for the in-person ceremony next year, but we are doing things and you will be recognized. And through various programs, EOP&S is planning something. We have Black Grad, Ujima, Latinx, Ale, first year experience. So you will be recognized, and we do look forward to celebrating with you next year in person, as well as recognizing your accomplishments this year.
Great, and I'd like for Ryan to share some great news also about one of our inaugural graduation ceremonies that we're starting this year virtually, our graduation celebrations. Ryan?
Yes, of course. So this year, I'm happy to serve on the committee for the API grad, or Asian Pacific Islander grad. This is the first year that we're ever doing it. And as an Asian American, and also I identify within this community, it's really great to see the representation and also just feeling more welcome within PCC. And I've always felt welcome, but just having this just elevates that experience. So I'm really excited for this. And if you have any feedback or just want to let us know how you're feeling about it, let us know in the comments. But also please let us know any feedback that you have. And I really hope that you can participate in this graduation.
Great, thank you. And so the rest of the flip book, we have captured images of the ways that we've engaged with students while we've been virtual. For example, our past program had a virtual tour of University of California, Santa Barbara. Our program called CORE, Communities Overcoming Recidivism Through Education for formerly incarcerated and system impacted students, has a series of events and services every single day for students. And that's been going extremely well. Our Quest Center for Queer and Undocumented Empowerment for Support to Thrive. We have a series of offerings on a daily basis for students to get help with how to access healthcare, how to address public charge, how to get support for DACA renewal fees. And then we also have free immigration legal services via Zoom with a lawyer. And all you have to do is simply email quest@pasadena.edu or follow PCC Quest on the various social media channels. We also offer preferred name change services available for students who identify as transgender and who fear for their safety. For example, any student experiencing domestic violence or stalking and you need a name change. All you have to do is email quest@pasadena.edu. And Quest also created a method for students to text if you need support. This is a great way for you to get an immediate response from a staff person so that you can schedule any service that we've already mentioned about PCC Quest. And our immigration legal services is in partnership with a community-based organization called Caresen. Again, that's available for DACA renewal, permanent residency, or application for citizenship. And our academic athletic zone also has a series of events for supporting our student athletes. We know how disruptive this was for all of you, and we want to make sure you know that we're here to support you. We also have various TRIO programs for students who are in high school. And we've made sure to create events and support virtually so that our high school students and family members can still be connected to PCC. My favorite, I think, was TikTok Thursday on April 2nd, so students could load their TikTok videos. Also on March 30th, Meal Made Monday to show, all of us are at home. We're cooking more than we have ever. And so take a picture of your skills on cooking and post it on Instagram. So I just love the creativity the team has demonstrated throughout this time. We also had the opportunity for students to meet folks virtually, like tutors and folks in different industries. And the Office of Student Life from the very get-go said, let's make sure we all understand while we're socially distant, we're physically distant, that doesn't mean we're socially isolated. And they hosted Social Distance Spirit Week. And this is an image of Pajama Day. And I love that one of our counselors, our teacher specialists from the Disabled Student Programs and Services, she posted herself with her kitty pajamas on. So that was really cool for us to be able to do that. And this is in response to you students. Students were saying that you're inundated with negative news, and it was really getting to be overwhelmingly sad. And you wanted to just continue on your track and journey as a college student and be reminded that there's still joy in life. And so this Social Distance Spirit Week was really able to respond to your request for that. We also, from the very get-go, were able to loop in our student leaders. So this is social distance. You can see in this conference room, we were hosting a Zoom meeting for 41 clubs participating to understand what would happen to our student clubs. And then I love the fact that our dean and our advisor for student life participated in a TikTok video themselves with students. And that was amazing. This was right before we physically closed the campus. And so they set the tone for us to all understand that we are still here to engage students in fun ways so that we can continue, to remember every single day that we can choose to, smile through it. And sometimes doing a TikTok dance really helps. I also love that Matthew Morgan Begis, our Cross-Cultural Center coordinator, every Thursday he hosts Cups of Culture, and it's live. It's a live interview with staff and our community-based organization partners. And so this was a live interview with Desiree Hernandez, our Quest coordinator. And, she works really hard for the Quest Center students, and she was interviewed by Matthew. Last week, we had one of our community-based organizations interviewed about domestic violence. And so Matthew's doing a great job. Please tune in every Thursday, Cups of Culture on Facebook Live. Our Student Health Services is providing a lot of help for our students in regards to, wellness. Also, just keeping the pulse on what we need to do in order to remain healthy amidst the pandemic. Our Puente program is working really hard to continue on the quest of, transferring. And I am so appreciative of Puente for continuing to serve our students in very creative ways. And then our Pathways program created a middle school outreach, a newsletter, and a YouTube video on safe chemistry projects to do at home. And this was created by one of our PCC students. He's a STEAM ambassador and his name is Dennis Tercero. And Dennis, is committed to continuing to help us with our current efforts for one of our Hispanic Serving Institution grant programs. And we also, in our Pathways FYE program, created a video, We're Here For You. It was so heartwarming and it went out to all 2,800 participants of our FYE. I also want to thank our former foster youth program for hosting a virtual Dine and Discover. Our students logged in and they really felt supported, and it was amazing. I also wanted to thank Dr. Gina Lopez from our Black Student Success Center. She launched a new website right before we physically closed so that it would be easier for students in our Black Student Success programs like Ujima, Blackademia, Amend, all for our students to understand how to remain connected to the services available. I also wanted to thank Olivia Liu, our Director of International Student Services. She organized social hours for various student groups. And we all have seen the news that a lot of our students are experiencing racism and microaggressions as a result of the pandemic, and people choosing to, act poorly during this time. And so we wanted to make sure to support our students. We have Korean Student Social Hour, Indonesian students, Chinese students, and there's a little screenshot of the first one. We had a lot of students logged in, and so I'm really appreciative of the leadership of my team for keeping the pulse on what our students need from us and getting to work and getting it done. Last week was Sexual Violence Awareness Week, and we didn't let up. Every year we do a whole week of programming, and this year we did as well. And so I want to say thank you to everybody for continuing those efforts. And then a virtual town hall was hosted by our associated students last week, so we're following in their footsteps of our student leaders. EOPNS have success coaches and counselors available through Confer Zoom. And we also have virtual one-on-one tutoring for all students who are in EOPNS. That's over 1,000 students in this program can get virtual one-on-one tutoring. And so finally, there are more Dine and Discover opportunities available. That's just some of what we've been doing in student services. And I just want to thank our hardworking members of our student services team for everything that you've done to make sure that we still are here for students, and that we make sure to continue to be creative and push ourselves to adapt to this, pandemic, and going remote unexpectedly, and just getting our lives disrupted in ways that we could not have imagined when this year started. So thank you to everybody, and I'd be happy for us to now ask Ryan if he wanted to add anything on behalf of students.
Yeah, I think that for me as a student, I was having a lot of trouble adapting to the online services and also online classes in general. But as I want to thank like faculty, staff, and also administration for just adapting to the ever-changing situation that we're at. I know that a lot of students are having a lot of anxiety, and just to understand that we're all in this together, and just that we're going to get through it. And also that if you need any resources or just anything that you need help with, that you just have the right people to contact. And I'm really happy with the town hall that we're having right now, just to get concerns out there. And I'm glad that we're sitting down and actually understanding and learning what the students are feeling.
I also wanted to thank our president for supporting us, having the ability to bump up spring second financial aid disbursement. It's a risk institutions take, and our president allowed us to do it. And, she's allowing us to be as creative as we possibly can. So thank you so much for all of your support.
Oh, you're welcome. The most important thing is that we provide the kind of support that students need. And a lot of what we're dealing with right now is really, it's all uncharted territory. And in some ways we've gotten guidance from both the state and the federal government, but in some ways we haven't. And so basically where we haven't been told we can't do something, we've been trying to do whatever we can to help students. So I'm a big believer that what's important is to keep our eye on student success and trying to meet as many needs of students as humanly possible. And so I'm very happy to be here to support that. And, again, it's all part of Semper Gumby, always flexible.
Yes, thank you. And so I know that we have questions coming in from students. I'm getting some text messages about that. So the questions are pertaining to CARES, financial aid, the electronic grocery store gift cards. There's some questions pertaining to health, and also questions regarding students without technology. Just to throw the themes out there so that the various members of our student services management and leadership team will be prepared to potentially help me answer the questions. So the first question I have is, what should students with underlying conditions do if they shouldn't come to campus? And so I know that we have our director of student health with us on this virtual town hall, but I know at this point in time, we are physically closed to the public and to our students. So students should not be coming to campus And that would be my response at this point in time. I'm not sure if Dr. Quinting, if you wanted to speak about any clarification on underlying conditions. Students are asking about what they should do if they are asked to come to campus.
Thank you, Dr. Olivo. You are correct. The campus is still closed to students and the public. I'm hoping there's students not coming to campus, especially under the category of those that have risk categories. They should, keep themselves distant socially distant from the public in terms of potentially being exposed to the virus. Again, prevention is key. Prevention in terms of hand washing, wearing a cloth mask or a face mask, staying away from individuals who are sick. And if you, as a student, is feeling unwell, you should not expose yourself to anybody who may potentially be sick or be out and about, in areas that put you at risk of potentially getting the virus. And of course, monitoring yourself for fever and any other symptoms is important. When in doubt, the best thing to do is always check with your primary care provider for an evaluation or even a consult using different platform, as a lot of the community providers are using telemedicine, telehealth, to talk with their patients about different aspects of health and wellness.
Dr. Tang, in fact, our team is also available via telephone for those kinds of quick questions.
Yes, if any student has any questions, needs clarification, needs to chat with any of our clinical team, they are welcome to reach us. And here are a couple of ways to reach us. First and foremost, you can email us at medicalshs@pasadena.edu. Again, medicalshs@pasadena.edu. The second thing is they certainly can call the clinic number, and that is 626-585-7244. They can leave a message, and one of my team member will reach out to guide the student on how we can better assist them. If you can't remember either the phone number or the email, please visit the website, the student health website, and there it will have instructions, contact number, and email that is listed on our webpage to guide the student to reach us so we can provide services.
Thank you so much, Dr. Tang.
Thank you, Dr. Olivo.
So our next question is related to federal CARES, and our students would like to know, for federal CARES, they want to understand more about the process and how to get in touch with financial aid. And so the process at this point is that we have identified 5,500 students approximately who received funds based upon the three variables: estimated family contribution and unmet need, as well as being eligible to receive federal financial aid. And these students have already been notified, and around 4,500 students have accepted the funds, and we're getting in touch with the last 990 students via telephone because they have not responded to emails and text messages yet. The next part of federal CARES is that we've put aside a portion of our allocation to make emergency aid available so that we can look at individual circumstances students are facing and make a decision on how to help you. I'll give you some examples. There are around a dozen students who say that they're living in a home that is kind of noisy and it makes it difficult to focus. and they feel like noise canceling headphones could help them. We've identified a noise canceling headphone that costs in the range from, around $40 or so. So imagine, we'll be able to respond to that need through this emergency funding. We also have students who are indicating that they were laid off and they have a need to help pay unexpected medical bills, for example. Now, we could help the student by connecting them to a service we have available through our health center to help students sign up for Medi-Cal online. And that's a county resource. 2, we can also potentially award students emergency funding. The other is that federal financial aid, unfortunately, for the CARES Act is not available to undocumented students, but we do have funding available through this emergency aid application for undocumented students through another funding source. So all you have to do is log into your Lancer Point and you'll see the link to the emergency aid application under announcements. And that is where you will find the federal CARES information. Now I will ask my financial aid team member, he is Manuel Cerda, the Director of Financial Aid, to tell you how to get in touch with a financial aid staff member to answer your specific questions. Manuel? Manuel, I'm going to need you to unmute yourself so that you could tell students how they can contact you. Okay, I will tell you then how to. Oh, sorry.
I'm here.
Thank you.
So, good afternoon. The contact information for any emergency aid related fund, including CARES grant, it's emergencyaid@pasadena.edu. So we have a team of well-informed professionals that will be responding to that email. Anything from how do I apply, how do I get considered, timelines, any information you could send it to that email address, and we will get back to you immediately thereafter. Just wanted to add that a lot of the information after students apply would be provided via, you'll get confirmation from that email address, as well as information on your student portal under the financial aid area. More information, details regarding the award, when you're eligible, and then steps moving forward.
Great. Thank you so much for that answer. Okay, and now the other questions coming in. Was food distribution a one-time thing? Is it ongoing? What is the process? So what we were able to do is have 2 weeks worth of food distribution. And then from that point forward, we have a few ways that we're responding to food insecurities for our students. One is the electronic grocery store gift cards. 2 is that Dr. Andrew Jonas put us in contact with a key person that helped us secure the list of food banks that exist in communities where our students live. And what I was able to do is work with our research department to identify the places where our students live and which of those food pantries was closest to our students geographically. And then we sent individual messages to students letting them know these food banks that exist right down the street from where you live, and that you can go and access food from these pantries that operate on a daily basis. And if you had any difficulties with that, I also provided a phone number and contact information so that you could let us know, and then we could in turn communicate to the county supervisor that we worked with in order to get and secure this list of food pantries for our students. What we're working on at this point in time is we do have members of our Lancer Pantry who are trained to help students apply for CalFresh online. What we did is we expanded that so that we could have more team members with the knowledge of how to help students apply for CalFresh. And I don't know if you've been tracking the information, but CalFresh can now be used for grocery delivery to your home. And so at this point in time, These are our plans in order to continue to respond to our students' need for food. We also are awarding our federal CARES funding to students and continuing to, make sure you understand and know how to tap into the resources that exist in your communities. Until we replenish our personal protective equipment, such as masks and gloves, we will not be able to do in-person food distribution. Again, until we replenish our masks and gloves. Okay. The next question that is coming in is in relation to, let's see. We have students inquiring as to, they're experiencing now some difficulties with teachers potentially assigning coursework or assignments that were challenging and may not have been there at the beginning of the term. What I would recommend is that you contact counseling. You can ask for support through academic counseling, and they can help you navigate our policies and procedures that exist for addressing those kinds of concerns. And we also work very closely with our partners in instruction, the deans, for example, and faculty representatives, so we can relay your concerns in that way and just continue to provide you guidance to navigate your academic experience. For DSPS students, that's any student who's registered with a disability with our Office of Services to Students with Disabilities. Please know that we are here for you, and we can also help contact your professors so that we can relay your concerns to them.
Dr.
For any,
Olivo, Dr.
yes.
Olivo, can I just pop in here?
Yes.
I really want to encourage students that if you find yourself in that situation where a faculty member has added work or there's any sort of situation going on, definitely reach out, because we can't fix any issues or address any problems if we don't know about them. So, reach out to counseling, explain what you feel is happening. Ideally, if you have a copy of the syllabus from when you started the class, that would be great too, because we definitely want to help you be successful, and we want to address issues as they come up. But again, we can't fix problems if we don't know about them.
Yes, thank you. And, as far as other questions, I know all of us would like to have answers to every question regarding the future right now. We all want to know what's going to happen for fall, what will happen to specific programs for the future. That's the whole point of Semper Gumby, is always remain flexible. We have to be open to whatever the situation becomes and the variables that exist related to the pandemic. We're all weighing those to make the appropriate decisions for everyone's health and safety at this time. And so we'll continue to keep you posted about those decisions as they occur through our social media channels and through our direct communication to you via Lancer Point. And there's a question about transfer. And so I know our transfer center director is also with us. And so the question is, please tell us how transfer program can help us, for those of us who are still facing the potential for transferring during this time. So Tamika Alexander, can you please help our students understand what kinds of services are available and how can you help students make their decisions about transfer during this challenging time?
Absolutely. Good afternoon. The Transfer Center team is ready and available to meet with students remotely. We have a transfer counselor, transfer advisors, and right now we're helping students with the final steps needed to complete the process. Some students have applied for admission and perhaps they've been denied, so we're helping students with the appeal process. So if students want to know the array workshops that are available, they can go to the Transfer Center website on the PCC page, and there they can actually sign up for a workshop session to meet one-on-one, and we're available to meet with students via phone or via Zoom chat. So we have staff who are ready and waiting to provide any support that you may need.
Great. And I do want to make you all aware that what we did on our end to be proactive about supporting our students who are transferring is we identified students who requested their transcripts from PCC to be sent to a four-year institution. And we figured all students who were sending PCC transcripts to a four-year school were probably going to transfer. And so we've been working with that list. So all of the services that Tamika and her team have put together, we've been directly communicating to the students to make sure that you're aware. For example, last Thursday and Friday, we had a virtual event with representatives from all of our local universities answering questions that students had. And we had nearly 200 students log in for that. So we know it's really weighing on your minds about transfer. Now I will go ahead and transition to the next question, and it's about technology. Are there any ways that Student Services is connecting with students that don't have access to stable internet or technology? And yeah, there are various ways that we've helped our students as a college. One is when we initially closed, we made available a Google form that students could request Chromebooks. And so that was made immediately available on a first come, first served basis. And we've been responding to those requests this entire time, so students would have access to that. Secondly, what we did the first week that we were going remote is we were able to provide all of our students with the updated information for every service provider, whether it was from cell phone service provider or cable service providers, about how to access free internet. And we provided that from the get-go. And then finally, the other way that we've been responding to technology needs is through our emergency aid program. And so I've met with all leaders from all the programs, such as Puente, Ujima, the Academic Athletic Zone. I've been keeping the pulse to make sure, students from our African American Male Education Network and Development, for example, they requested hotspots. And so I was able to tap into some of our emergency assistance funds to respond to those needs for hotspots. And now we're working through a couple hundred requests for hotspots through our emergency aid program that I discussed earlier in this virtual town hall. So if there are those needs that exist, what we'll do is we'll encourage you to either utilize your Federal CARES Act funding. We'll also encourage you to let us know if you didn't get the Federal CARES Act funding, and then we could potentially provide you with some of the emergency assistance so that we can help you get access to the internet or get the technology that you need. The other is that I meet with the Chancellor's Office staff on a weekly basis through the statewide student services organization that I lead. And I conveyed to them that one of the services we were plugging for Chromebooks that cost $159, they're sold out. And so they're looking for renewing that contract so that we can continue to provide that resource and link to all of you so that you can purchase a low-cost Chromebook that is high quality. So I wanted to make you aware of that. And the other piece of info I thought is critical for you to understand is that our personal counseling department is still available virtually. And this is for students who are experiencing anxiety, stress, and other mental health concerns. Our personal counseling therapists have been hosting telephone sessions. And this helps because students who do not have access to the internet can still access therapy from the telephone. And that information is also available on our website. Okay, and I believe the questions that are coming in have all been addressed, unless there are more questions that the audience members have. Okay, here's a specific question. If I am CARE and EOP, if I'm in the CARES and EOP&S program and ESP&S, can I qualify for a hotspot? Because right now I'm using my neighbor's Wi-Fi. And I sent an email from my student account inquiring. So if you're in EOPS Cares and DSPS, what I would encourage you to do is to apply for the emergency aid to see if we could potentially help you out with the need for your hotspot. And I just wanted to give you kudos also, you know, great job in figuring out how to access Wi-Fi. I think that demonstrates a tremendous amount of resiliency on your part to, you know, work with your neighbor to use Wi-Fi. That's what we all need to do at this point in time, is help each other out. So good job. And our special services associate dean is mentioning that students can still request the grocery store gift cards through the pantry. And EOPS Care, our director, Nikki Dixon, is mentioning that to the student from EOPS Care, please contact your counselor, and your counselor can help you with that emergency aid application and also tap into any resources available for the EOPS Care program. Great, I think that we are now done with the questions. Unless there are more, I'll give another opportunity for students to pose any questions that you have out there. I know there are questions specific to programs that cannot be done remotely. You're worried about what's going to happen. And, you know, we're working through all of that. As you can imagine, this semester we had 2,700 sections of classes. So that's a lot of teachers, it's a lot of employees, a lot of students enrolled in those classes. And so we don't have the answer to all questions at this time, but please trust me that we work through it every day so that we can get you the information you need about your programs. I will say, fortunately, PCC has been working for a long time on what we call career communities. And so you will participate in a community. Let's say you're in the nursing program. You're a member of the science, technology, engineering, and math career community. And so we will help you, you know, make sure that you explore other ways that you can remain enrolled and make progress towards completion of a program that's in that wheelhouse. If, for example, we're not able to proceed with that program. And that's not something we're just grappling with at our college, that's through the entire state. And so we're all working together to get you the answers to those kinds of questions. The next question that's coming in is there an estimate for the number of students that have not been in contact, not attended classes since we went remote? That's a really great question, and I'm proud of the answer I'm about to share with all of you. One of the first things that we did is we identified how many students had not logged into our Canvas system. That's our learning management system. And so, you know, almost all of our teachers use Canvas for their classes. And so that's one way we could identify and measure, did our students have access to their courses online? And what we did is we extracted the students who had not accessed Canvas, and then even our very own president, all our vice presidents, our executive team, we divided up those names and contact info for students, and we reached out to students personally. And we were able to get around 400 students assistance so they could log in the following week. So then we had a list of around 700 students of 27,000 students who had not logged in. And I asked our director of our Welcome Center, Denise Carter, to work on that list. And then we did a third round, and she also reached out to students. So we've been making sure that our students are engaged in some way, shape, or form to get help so that they could log into Canvas so that you could participate in your classes and read your updates from your teachers so that you can remain enrolled. And so that's an estimate on how many students have not been in contact. It's just a few hundred, which for a college our size with over 27,000 students enrolled. I think it's pretty great, and it speaks volumes about you students. You know, we were able to employ that Semper Gumby approach to be flexible, and so are you. And so thank you so much for sticking with us and remaining on track to pursuing your goals and making your dreams come true through education. We all believe in you and in the power of higher education, and we're committed to continuing to provide these services to you and thinking of ways to, you know, reach outside the box to be responsive to what you need in order to continue to be resilient and successful. Okay, we have one more question that's coming in via text message. Oh, nope, my staff member saying I think that's it.
Okay.
Great.
We're gonna go ahead and close the town hall now. I want to thank everybody. If you need anything, please let us know. We're here for you. You can even contact me directly. You can find me, dkcarter@pasadena.edu, or call me at 626-585-7992, and I'll be happy to help you. Take care, everybody. Stay safe, and thanks again, and enjoy the rest of your day.